My motto has always been, and by always I mean for the last 6 to 7 years, been sunlight is the best disinfectant. Use it. Shine a light on the less favorable aspects of your personality or your life right from the beginning to prevent misunderstandings later on. And the last thing I want to do is have people find out some of these things later and, be disappointed that they wasted their 12 to 21 minutes and 10 seconds a week on me, right? So let's just do this. By the way, this portrait is, I feel as though I have come into my own. A big part of it, I have to say, is these Sennelier paints. They glow. They are absolutely beautiful. They are the only paint I ever want to use for portraits ever again. Because the only difference between all the portraits I've painted up until this point and today is pretty much these paints. So I gotta say, thank you, Sennelier. Thank you. Okay. First confession. I'm gonna ease myself in. We gotta work up to the tougher stuff. Up until probably, I would say, 6th grade, somewhere between 2nd and 6th grade, but absolutely through 2nd grade. I wore the same outfit at least 4 days a week. Now, it's not that the clothing was dirty or anything. My mom was, she would wash it every day, which I'm sure that was a true joy in her life. I absolutely refused to wear anything but whatever outfit I was fixated on. Just to highlight how interesting this was, we'll say interesting for lack of a better adjective. This probably started around age 7 or 8. To my memory, that's when it started. And around that time, I was completely obsessed with Laura Ingalls Wilder. I mean, who wasn't, right? Little House on the Prairie, anyone? The first outfit I would wear, it was a long sleeve, floor length, cotton prairie style dress. I not only wanted to be Laura Ingalls Wilder, I probably in my mind made myself believe I was her. I was living on the prairie with Pa, Almanzo, Nellie. Have I just lost most of you? My first confession about Little House on the Prairie. Anyway, I wore this dress to camp. I lived in Tucson, Arizona, where summer temperatures never drop below 100 degrees between 8 a.m. and midnight. And the daily outfit was this full-length prairie dress. I wore it to camp, kids in shorts and tank tops. I'm in my prairie dress, long sleeves, the whole nine. No exceptions. As I'm sure you've ascertained at this point, I had a lot of friends. I was very popular. Very popular. It's not like I smelled bad. And then from there, it kind of carried over into regular school. I think my mom kind of put her foot down more during the school week, but I wore the same clothes every day of my life whenever I could get away with it for most of my childhood. This didn't stop till probably around 6th grade when I began to understand that maybe having some kind of social identity could be helpful to my life. And then I started wearing different clothes. But when I became an adult and it was up to me again and I stopped caring that I had no friends, I definitely went back to wearing kind of the same clothes all the time, but no one cares anymore, right? That was just a little icebreaker for you. Just an icebreaker to get the confessions rolling. All right, second confession. Are we ready? I thought that whatever direction I was traveling at that moment was north. Like if somebody said, "What direction are you heading?" It was always north. That was just my brain made that calculation and it stuck. So that's just a quick little throwaway confession. But this wasn't as a kid. This was until well into my 20s. Let me also add that I am a registered nurse. I did graduate with honors from an accredited nursing program back in the 90s, when you couldn't just chat GPT your way through school. So I don't know what this says about me. Okay, confession number 3. This one's getting a little closer to the heart. I hum a lot. That's it. That's the confession. And yes, I know that doesn't sound like a confession. Everyone hums, right? That's just a normal thing to do. Again, yes, these are normal things, but it's the circumstances, I'm thinking, that make it different and noteworthy in this case. When I was a kid, quick story, I attended a school where the bathroom for the classroom for the kids was within the classroom. You didn't like go out into a hallway and then go down the hall and go to the bathroom. So this bathroom was just right there, and the only thing separating me from all of my classmates was a door. So I would go into the bathroom and do what one does in the bathroom, go pee or whatever. And I had no conscious awareness of the volume of my humming, apparently, because at one point early on in my school career, and this particular classroom that I'm referencing was the one that I was in during first grade. So this happened way back in first grade. Okay, don't be thinking this is me in my freshman year of high school, but still, I'm in there peeing and humming quite loudly, I assume, because after a few minutes, the teacher's voice wafts through the bathroom door. She says, "Can you please stop humming? We're not able to focus on our schoolwork out here." Okay, so humiliating. You'd think I would learn my lesson. You'd think I would be like, oh, humming isn't appropriate when you're in a room and people can hear you. But alas, I did not. I did not, as is true with many things in my life that you will probably come to find if you continue watching me. I take forever to learn life lessons. That should be confession 3B. You know, I consider myself a learner in life. Like, I'm always looking to take away lessons from every single thing I encounter. But like, I also take forever to integrate certain life lessons into the realm of my behavior. Definitely a biggie. And so the humming, though, it just never really went away. And recently, I was at work. I work as a labor and delivery nurse. I talk about this all the time. I work one particular shift with a nurse who we really butt heads. Like, I think deep down, there's no hard feelings or whatever, but our particular style of working is such that she likes to do things one way, I like to do things another way. We're both old and crotchety and set in our ways, and so we butt heads, and it is what it is. We're used to it. We've worked together for many, many years. Recently, I was humming or maybe singing, and I wasn't doing this around patients. I was in a more private area where I was charting, but apparently the sound of my musical repertoire was traveling down the hallway a bit, because from the other nursing station, I hear this nurse, frustration on 10, basically say, "Can you please stop humming and singing?" And I was like, I'm joyful, girl. So it can be a problem. I know this. I'm working on it. I think it's my go-to for anxiety. It's also my go-to, like, to lift myself up when I'm having a bad night or something. I constantly have music in my head. It could be any song. They just stick in there. I definitely have no problem just humming along with it. And I have found that it can be very distressing for people who maybe aren't in the mood to hear humming or music at that time. Perhaps they just are not in the mood. That was confession 3. How's the painting coming? What do you guys think? Confession 4. And now, this is my very uncomfortable one. This is going to hit you out of the blue, so buffer yourself. Be prepared. This one actually isn't funny. I don't know how many of you guys out there are people who like true crime. I personally despise, like, the grisliness of it, but I love the psychological aspect of true crime, and as a result, I watch far too much of it. I like understanding the mindset of the people, and I came to true crime really late in life, and when I did come to it, the only real crime stuff that you could watch wasn't even true crime. It was televised crime, things like Law and Order and Dexter, all those shows of that nature. I started watching it because I wanted answers. I didn't understand the mind of a criminal. And the reason I wanted answers was because my ex-boyfriend, who was a surgeon, ended the life of another person. I'm sorry. I warned you. I said it wasn't funny. It was very real. And I'm not going to go into it here, but it was a very horrifying situation. It wasn't a patient. It was a very precious human being that absolutely did not deserve on any level to have happened to him what happened to him. It's quite a story, and I feel like it might be worth telling. I don't know. It might be worth telling on the channel, but it's just very crazy to know that you were intimate with somebody who had that capacity, you know? And from there, I was like, I can't even believe this is true. I couldn't fathom that this is even a thing within somebody. It really just completely shocked my world. And I should add, he is serving life in prison. So he is safely behind bars or behind steel doors, whatever they have nowadays. And he will be remaining there for the remainder of his life. So that's good to know. That's good to know. And it's well deserved. Final transition. Number 5. This is on a very different note. Number 5. I'm just going to out with it. You guys, I love Jesus. I love him. I love Jesus. Given so many recent people joining our little watercolor community here, I need to be sure anyone new knows that Jesus is the king of my life. Jesus is my everything. And because he is, he's going to come up in videos for sure. And I want to know that you know that that is going to happen. I know a lot of people have church hurt and religious trauma, and I totally get that. And I never want to, make that hard for somebody. The reason that my life today is joyful and consistently such, regardless of the external circumstances happening, the most incredible part of everything that I am is thanks to him. I just urge you, if that brings up uncomfortable feelings or it makes you feel angry or dissatisfied with anyone talking about him, consider why. People can be dicks. People have a lot of problems, a lot of baggage. I'm one of them. We're all imperfect. Some of us like to hum. I mean, seriously. Okay, sorry. But the balance for all of that, all of the yuckiness in the world, all of the true evil, like my ex-boyfriend, or the darkness that we see, the depression, the anxiety, the addiction, all these things that we see every day around us and that impact our lives, the balance for that is Jesus, the perfection in Jesus. And if you choose to look to him instead of people, because people mess up, people are going to break your heart. It's just a fact. Jesus will not. Okay. I know we're in the final stretch of the video. And if you're still here and watching, I am beyond grateful to you. Thank you. You deserve to give yourself a thumbs up, or you could just give me a thumbs up. I don't know. I wanted to talk to you quickly about the painting and express a little bit about how much I enjoyed this one. I think that using these paints, the quality is something that did take me a little while to understand. And I'm very excited to now have completed a number of portraits with them in my sketchbook. I also recently ordered, I think 3 or maybe 4 new colors I just ordered half pans. There was a sale at Jackson's, and I thought it was in the US, but I clicked on that option for the website, but then it redirected me to the UK, and they did ship from the UK, so I don't know, and I don't even know if it's going on anymore. The paints were around $6 to $8 per half pan, which is extremely affordable. And what was interesting, I heard about the sale from a video by Sketches&Scrubs, who I adore. If you guys don't know her, I would be shocked because she has a much, much, much bigger channel than I do and has been doing this quite a lot longer. But I'll put her channel below if you happen to not know about it, and you can follow her and watch her beautiful art making and travels all around the UK lately, doing car camping and stuff. Anyway, she mentioned that there was a sale in her last video, which happened to be about Sennelier. They aren't listed as being on sale. They're just very affordable. And so I don't know if that's their normal price through Jackson's, but at that price, they are essentially, you'd be paying what you're paying for Roman Schmal or any of the other less expensive brands. So please check it out. I also did get a few brushes, by the way. Maybe in my next video, I'll review the new colors that I picked up and just maybe a mishmash. Oh, you know what? Yes, I think the next video will be a supply review because I have a few other things I want to talk about. So I think we've reached the end of the line with this super beautiful glowy portrait, and I'm not tooting my horn when I say beautiful. I really believe it's the paints. I've never had results like this. I'm going to continue to upload World Watercolor Month posts as often as I can, so look for those, and I hope you have a beautiful week. See you very soon. Bye-bye.
This big black cloud is coming down.